Hey everyone, this is Kim Quady with KimPlaysWithPaper.com. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Mesa, Arizona, and I try to have a video or a live for you every week. And so today, here it is, 8:30 a.m. Arizona time, and I have I'm taking a break from the Halloween and fall cards to show you some holiday cards that I've been working on. Good morning, Joy. Thanks for popping in. This is a stamp set I received while I was on the Stampin' Up! Incentive trip in Hawaii. And when we first got a copy of the catalog, I thought, oh, that's going to be my first purchase. And then, wouldn't you know, that's one of the stamp sets that I got. Good morning, Nikki. Good morning, Deb. So I got it home and I started playing with it, and I had put it away for a while and thought, well, it's kind of time to dust that off and start making Christmas cards. Good morning, Tammy. Thanks for popping in. I don't know where you are in your Christmas card crafting. And Sue, hello. But it's time to get started, and there are just so many, many fun things to play with. Good morning, Barb. Thanks for popping in. So I'm going to switch my camera down and get started showing you what I have. Thanks for popping in, everyone. So the stamp set I'm talking about is the Candy Canes background stamp. Hey, Linda, thanks for watching and sharing. The Candy Canes background stamp can be found on page 35 of Stampin' Up's July through December 2021 mini catalog. I'll be using some other supplies along with it, but that's the main. I just thought it was so cute. And so let me just show you the cards, and then I will make one and show you a fun Stamparatus tip that I have as well. So I've got a couple of versions of this. This is a 4 1/4 square card using crumb cake and the sentiment from the Perfectly Plaid stamp set. Oh, Nikki, glad you did buy that one. There are lots of examples here, so I hope you find some inspiration. I use these as my catalog samples every time I send new catalogs out. I try to send a sample from Stampin' Up's catalog. So this is one that many people got. Hi, Sandy. Thanks for popping in. What's different about this one is that this uses the red foil in the background. And so I switched it up and I used just real red cardstock on that one. And this is kind of fun. I also bought the frosted gingerbread bundle, and so I thought that sentiment, sending you peppermint kisses, was absolutely perfect. Good morning, Kimberly. I thought the sentiment was absolutely perfect with the candy canes, and then I did do heat embossed that in white. That label is from the Tasteful Label dies. So then I thought, well, okay, not a small card. Let's make it into a full-size card. Just again, the crumb cake. Very, very simple. Just, one stamp and a sentiment, and you're done with some of that mini ruffled ribbon. Hey, Tammy, thanks for popping in, and Andrea. So there's that. So it was just really simple to use. Now this one I bumped up just a little bit. So I stamped the candy cane background on white cardstock and then used the stitched rectangle dies to cut that out, and also used the gingerbread peppermint 6x6 designer series paper, and then the sentiment again on the Tasteful Label dies with the white heat embossing. I actually really, really like this one. It's fun once you start working with it, all the ideas just start pouring out, and I could spend just hours upon hours, and I do. So then this one was the inspiration that came next. It's still, I stamped that whole white sheet Good morning, Wendy. And then cut it to fit this kind of fun fold. Good morning, Kathy. And you can see I really got into heat embossing the white, that sentiment on there. And these little peppermints are die cuts from that designer series paper. And then I added a red rhinestone along with that one. Hello, Teresa. Then, so far we've used real red. You can always you can use cherry cobbler too, but also poppy parade. Poppy parade is a color that I hadn't thought about, but I must have been short on real red when I made these. Imagine that. Now I have like 3 packages. But again, I just stamped that whole background stamp and cut it into strips and layered it. And this is, little sentiment is from A Wish for All, and then using the layered oval punches here. Still going with that poppy parade. If you've been following me in the last months, you know that I kind of have a thing for the picture this dies. So I thought, well, why not? So I have underneath here is the background with candy canes and poppy parade, and then just layered the picture this dies on top of that. And that's embossed with that Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder. And then I believe that's Heartfelt Wishes. That's another one I got in Hawaii, and it's just a really fun sentiment stamp. So, and then just one last sample. I am working on more, and I have one coming up in a tutorial next month. Again, just layering with that. Good morning, Mary Kay from Oregon. And that sentiment, I did color the white ribbon with this and the rhinestones with the Stampin' blends to make it match my shaded spruce. So that those are the few samples that I have for you today using the Candy Canes background stamp. And there was just a ton more that I think can be done with it. But today I'm going to show you, we're just going to put this card together. And it's kind of a clean and simple card because I love clean and simple. I don't, they're easier to mail, they're easier to make, and I can make a bunch all at one time because when I send cards, I send a bunch at one time. But what I want to show you is a little trick I have for using the background stamps and the Stamparatus. Sometimes we wonder, well, how can we use this great big background stamp and still be able to re-ink it? So with the Stamparatus, I love when I put it on there. When I use it, I like to put a stamp case underneath it so that you can, it gives you a good solid surface on which to apply the ink. Now, what I've done is I rarely use both magnets because, and I have not, a lot of people will wrap those magnets in washi tape because they're very, very strong and they can catch on each other and they can break and they're hard to get apart and all that. But so I'm using 2 because what I have are some Post-its, some sticky notes. And I've held the sticky note down with the magnet, and the sticky is here. And I have the sticky on each side. And then I have the Stampin' Up! Grid paper, that's $6.50 that you can get so you don't get ink all over your Stamparatus. So then what you do is you can put your your paper here, and it's on the sticky, so that if you need to re-stamp it for some reason, that sheet's not going to pull up. It's down there with the sticky note. So that's the one way that I have devised to be able to use that. And you know, we use with the small one, it's going to cover well. And I just experiment. I move it around wherever I think it needs to be. And I'm using real red ink. And so then I just flip it over and apply pressure. Sometimes you have to use a little more pressure closer to the hinge. Let's see how we did. Yep. So what's really nice is I know I can, did you see that paper didn't move? It's all stuck down with my sticky note. So I'm just going to apply a little bit more pressure here. I'm pretty sure I got it inked, but that's the really cool thing about the Stamparatus is that I can put more ink on it if need be. Just a little bit more right up here. Or I can just continue to press until I get the image that I want. Alrighty. Then I just pull it off of my sticky note and I'm ready to go. And I'll fix this because I did want to show you, we talked about, that's a 4, that measures 4 by 4. And so I was going to show you what happens when you put an entire cardstock on there. So I'm just going to bump that back up and stick that in the corner with my sticky up so that I can put my cardstock there. Sticky is up. So I just have a piece of my, this is a full sheet like I used in many of my projects. I have some really sticky notes from 3M right there in Minnesota. Several Minnesotans on today. Thanks for popping on. So I can set that there and do the whole sheet. And then I'll be able to cut it any way I want with like either the use it whole or use the rectangle dies for that. Oh, look at ink, 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 ink. But it's not stamping without ink. So then I'll just, again, a little more pressure by the hinge, and I could also put a little shim underneath there. So you get the idea of how that works with the sticky notes. I'll set that aside, and we'll grab, I'll give you some measurements for this. There's that fun stamp set, $17 for that stamp set. So the crumb cake base measures 8.5 by 4 1/4, and I've it's well, Dawn, about the cold. Good morning, Brenda. It's only 55 here today. So, but the air condition did come on last night, so it really isn't that cold, but many of us think it is. After a year or two, you become really conditioned. So that's 8.5 by 4 1/4, scored at 4 1/4, and then I'll just fold that in half and be able to work from there. And then you can either use a piece of just real red cardstock measuring 4 by 4, or the foil measuring 4 by 4. I know Dawn will gasp if I use this whole piece of foil without die cutting something out of the middle first. So I'll just use the real red cardstock. And then that was my 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 piece that I stamped. So I'm just going to apply some Stampin' Seal Plus on the back of the crumb cake and put it on the front of the real red. And then let's add that ruffled ribbon. I didn't measure it out ahead of time. Yes, there's snow up in Flagstaff. Yuck, 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 yuck. All right, the ruffled ribbon, that is also in the holiday catalog. I suppose I have like 5 3/4 inches of that. And do my faux bow that I so like. I just put a glue dot on each end of the ribbon and wrap it around the card and adhere the glue dots to the other side. And then I am ready to use my Stampin' Seal Plus to we'll put that base back on. Put that here. There we go. All right, so we have that. I made a whole bunch of the Merry Christmas, but just so you know, I used the Merry Christmas sentiment from the Perfectly Plaid stamp set that you can find in the annual catalog. Now, a little trick I did with that, again with the Stamparatus. So I took a Tasteful Label die and cut the center out of it, and I made a whole bunch of blank ones. Then I put this in the Stamparatus, and I layered my sentiment on, and each time I would put the sentiment in, and then I would stamp, take that out, put the sentiment in, and stamp, so I could do a whole bunch at one time. So I have this all ready to go. I'm going to put some Stampin' Dimensionals on it. You can see how clean and simple and easy this card is to go together if you needed to make a whole bunch. I like to put my dimensionals on the top and the bottom so that it straddles the ribbon and doesn't hang on the ribbon, because then it kind of flip-flops all over the place, and I guess I don't like that, so I'll put that. No other reason. And I like that off to the right-hand side. Then I'm going to grab just another little piece of my ruffled ribbon, tuck it under. This is my faux bow, my fake bow, and I'm going to tuck it under here. Just trying not to get that ink on my hands onto the card. And then to complete that, easier said than done, right? You just pull tight, make a little knot. And then I'll use my ribbon scissor to trim and finish it off with some of the red rhinestones. If you're making holiday cards, you've got to have a stash of these red rhinestones. They go with absolutely everything. So I'm going to stick one on each end. Even though the ribbon covers that, I just have to know that it's on there. So there we go. That's my quick and easy card. It still fits in one of Stampin' Up's regular envelopes. So you're ready to go with that. Let me just show you some of the other card samples I had with that Candy Canes background stamp. This one was with the picture, This Dies. Good morning, Janice. Good morning, Sherry. You guys, if you follow me on Tuesdays, you know that I'm kind of addicted to the picture, This Dies, so I couldn't let it go by without that. That's Poppy Parade. Look at that fun ribbon. I think I need to order some more of that. This is with the Frosted Gingerbread bundle, and that's fun. Real red. Another with the Frosted Gingerbread bundle and some heat embossing. Kind of talked about that, just the whole one. And then a little bit more of the Frosted Gingerbread with the white heat embossing. So anyway, that is my card for today and all of the card samples. I hope that you're inspired to get, if you haven't already, I bet most of you guys have already started your holiday cards. There are lots of really fun products in both the annual catalog and Stampin' Up's mini catalog. I do have some measurements and step-by-step instructions on my blog for the card we made today, so watch for that a little bit later. Thank you so much for popping in and spending a little bit of your Tuesday morning with me, wherever you are. I'll be back next week, and have a great day, a great week, and thanks so much for your kind comments and for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.